Good Wednesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. We're going to have a very active day, but especially late afternoon and tonight and into the overnight. There's been a lot of speculation of when does it start, when does it end. Well, it's like asking someone when they go to the beach, when am I going to get hit by a wave? They just keep coming. And that's the type of situation that I think you need to be flexible and be on your guard. Make sure you have multiple sources for information, namely a Captain Accurate Weather app, maybe a NOAA weather radio. Perhaps both would be a good idea, especially if power is in fact lost. But I do want to bring you up to speed on the flood watch. This was actually expanded from the National Weather Service overnight. This starts officially at 2 o'clock today. It only affected the plateau last night. We're talking Jamestown, Fentress, Crossville, Cumberland County were the only two counties issued under the flood watch. This is an aerial flood watch last night, but this expanded to everybody in green now, which covers most, if not all, of East Tennessee for flooding that might occur for rivers, creeks, streams. If you live in a low-lying area, there's going to be a lot of rain between now and the next 24 to 36 hours. So please hunker down. If you are in a flood-prone area, you're going to want to definitely keep an eye on any creek or stream that's near you, but there's not a whole lot to see here. We're going to look at the radar here in a moment. Visibility is, in fact, not bad. I mean, 10 miles, that's the max. But there may be some poor visibility in some spots where you see gray. See Jonesville's 3 miles. There might be some patches of fog this morning. But 73, it's awfully humid. Dew point's been at 68. It feels like the swamp. It feels sticky. So you know and I know, you step outside if you've had to take your trash bin to the end of the curb or to the street corner here to the end of the driveway. You will notice it feels very humid. 68 is the current temperature of Maryville and Sevierville, and 69 degrees in Crossville. If you're on the call, I want to say good morning to you. A lot to cover here in the next few minutes at 6:42. I'm very thankful that you're here, and I'm thankful if you watch this on delay. Maybe you watch this at 10 o'clock in the morning, about 11:30 in the morning. That's fine. Hopefully the information I provide to you will be evergreen and be able to keep on as we head into the time. But if you have a comment, I see Kelly Hart. She says, good morning. Thank you for keeping us updated. My pleasure. Go Vols, says Danny. Feedback. He's got good morning, David. Hope you have a wonderful, safe day. That's the key there, safe. Thank you, Danny. And Lisa Sexton says, good morning. Kevin Parchment, also one of my premium members, says, good morning. I hope we don't see any very large hail today. That's a possibility, too. But let's get to the nuts and bolts. Let's talk about the threat. What are we possibly going to find in East Tennessee today? Because we hear a lot all about it, Oklahoma. And a lot of us tend to find whether it's snow in Montana and Colorado or tornadoes in Oklahoma. Well, that's just them. Oh, that's just them. I don't really care because it's not my house. What if it comes to your house? This is the probability. If you're, we just came off the weekend of the Kentucky Derby. A lot of folks like to guess or bet on horses. And if there was a 5% chance your horse was going to win, or a 10% chance, then you probably understand probabilities. Maybe not that high. I think Mystic Dan was 20-1 when he started, but he ended up winning the race. You know what I mean? So if you are the winning horse, in this case, it's not a good thing. If you are the losing community to get a tornado, wouldn't you want to know about it? Right now, the Storm Prediction Center has placed a 5% chance. Doesn't seem that high, but it's not zero. 5% chance for Knoxville. Once you get to Oak Ridge, go to Kingston, go to Wartburg, there's a 10% chance within 25 miles of a point that we could have a tornado. And it doesn't have to be a tornado for you to lose power, to lose trees, to lose electricity, lose a lot of maybe some precious things that might be blown around, like patio furniture, that type of thing. So make sure you have those hunkered down. And if today is your trash day, there's going to be more than just trash blowing around if we get a tornado. But that's the risk from the Storm Prediction Center. They have a 30% chance, much higher, that we get 60-mile-an-hour gusts, because a 60-mile-an-hour gust would, in fact, trigger a severe thunderstorm warning. See that? The definition, the National Weather Service playing by the definitions, that's how they operate. So their threshold, 60-mile-an-hour winds, would be severe thunderstorm warning. And if we have that, there's a 30% chance we get some of those today and into tonight. This will carry us well into the night tonight. Severe hail risk. That's the size of a George Washington quarter. They're talking about hail the size of 2 inches, potentially. And it's, who's they? The Weather Service, National Weather Service. And more so, you mean our Weather Service? Yeah, our Weather Service thinks we could get 2-inch diameter hail through this event. And they've got Storm Prediction Center a 30% chance in red, 15% chance in Morristown. And what does 2-inch size hail look like? Well, it's bigger than a golf ball. Oh, I play golf, but I only play putt-putt. And I very rarely hit the windmill. But what we're talking seriously, we're talking about the size of a golf ball. That's on the table. So if that's something that's concerning to you, I would encourage you to download my free Captain Accurate weather app with Pete Michaels Traffic. It's just one of those types of days where you don't get them every day, but when you get a severe active day like we've got today and tonight, I don't expect a whole lot this morning, but later this afternoon, we'll highlight where here in just a moment. But this is what we have on the menu, potentially severe hail. Now, the storm energy does highlight what happens between now and, say, 5 p.m. Look at the red areas, right? That's where the strong forcing, the strong storm energy is going to be highlighted in red right through the morning hours to the north. And then once we get into 3 o'clock, oh, I see more red. I do too. And where is that? That's near Jellicoe. That's near La Follette. That may be where some of the nasty storms are firing up at 3 p.m. today. Doesn't always line up, but it's a good indicator. It's not everywhere, and I'm not here to say it happens everywhere. It's kind of like the waves. You know, you could all have a family of 5 at the beach. Everybody just goes into the ocean. So he gets hit by a wave. She gets hit by a wave at different times. So that's the way this is going to be. The atmosphere looks like water vapor to me. It looks like the ocean. It's water vapor, and once you've got these nasty storms developing, they will have quite a bit of a punch in terms of wind and in terms of severe weather. Look at that, 4:30. I thought you said this could happen between 4 and 7. For some of us, yes. Right along the state lines, where it's probably most favored. There's 4:30 this afternoon. Just focus on the red areas of where the strongest storm energy is located. And it could be back toward Bowling Green. It's not to say you couldn't have a storm in Knoxville. You could. It's not to say you couldn't have one in Newport. You could. But the areas in red, 4:30, this is the first wave. There will be other waves. There's 5 p.m. And you say, oh, it wasn't much. They blew this out. I left a 60% chance of rain today and an 80% chance tonight. Because what happens later tonight? Look how red it gets in Kentucky, 6 o'clock. And if you're traveling up and down I-75, these are the areas that might be most watching. 7 o'clock. Like I said, it's going to be a long night, folks. I see more red coming near Cookeville. Oh, my. Look at it's turned purple west of Monticello. In fact, it's red around Monticello. There's going to be more storms coming in. Oh, no, there it is, there it is, there it is. So what did you catch the time on that? That's the overnight period. So we're going to have a lot of activity, no doubt. Let me get to the radar. I've kind of buried the lead, but there's the radar. You're going to get to work or school this morning with no problem. No problem. Nothing to worry about right now. It's 6:47. But we have some storms that are firing up near Wayne County, north of Monticello at the moment, and also near Bowling Green, but really pretty quiet. We've already highlighted the green areas, which represent the flood watch. That doesn't even start. That doesn't even commence until 2 p.m. today. But the ultimate Doppler radar presented by Marco's Pizza, your local Marco's Pizza. Hardin Valley, Farragut, Maryville, Fountain City. We got locations in Halls and Oak Ridge. And the ones that are open like Middlebrook Pike, Ebenezer Road, check them out. They're also a corporate sponsor of No Kid Hungry. Go to marcos.com if you're hungry for lunch today. Maybe you want a pepperoni magnifico. It's magnificent. And you might maybe prefer the Pozzoli. These are great little, not little because they are actually bigger than they look in the picture, but they're delicious. The Pozzolis, check them out at marcos.com. They are a great community sponsor, but a sponsor for me. And they also give back to the community quite a bit, which I will continue to brag on them this month. By the way, the radar showing more showers and storms across southeast Kentucky. That's where we have been over the last hour. There are still some tornado watches around Memphis this morning. If you got family down there, they're under a tornado watch until 6 Central Time this morning. And in places like Graves County, Kentucky, Hopkins County, Kentucky, till 6 a.m. Central. So there's some active weather there. I got some notes here. I got a lot to cover here. It is now 6:49. My goal is to be done at the top of the hour, trying to condense this as best I can. Susan says hello. She's tagging herself. Angie says, oh, joy, I'm in Frakes, Kentucky. We'll keep an eye on this, Angie. The storm system, again, it's like tracking waves. You know, you could be the best swimmer, but maybe you're not the best surfer. You could have a surfboard and you never catch the big wave. I just want the big wave. I'm thinking of Keanu Reeves and some of those surfing movies. But anyway, if you're thinking about the big wave, we'll be watching that later today and tonight and into the overnight. Melissa says, good morning. Thanks for keeping us updated. Praying everyone stays safe tonight. I hate the night storms. I agree. And where you can't see where the clouds are doing. Alice says, good morning. Nice temperature now. Stay safe. Pray that some of this breaks up. I can hope so, right? We can only hope. But there will be some opportunities, as we'll see here, with more activity overnight tonight. Heavy rain. Flooding rains could very well affect you by morning. As far as the snow, are we still talking about snow? Yeah, I have to, Because what happens to get tornadoes? You need a clash of the warm and cold air. And for what seems like weeks, it's been centered and converging in the Midwest, like Oklahoma, Nebraska. More tornadoes, more tornadoes. Well, look at the snow in Montana. They've got rain in the Great Lakes, but this looks pretty cold to me. They still got freeze and frost concerns near Denver, but that's a lot of snow still falling. And last I checked, it's the 8th of May. May the 8th. What is going on? It's just weird. Yeah, it may be weird, but it is where we are at the moment. Still a lot of active weather headed in our direction, and we'll keep an eye on that. If you're keeping track in terms of rain, because we are into the flood watch later this afternoon, we have picked up about 1.5 inches so far for the month. And while we did technically finish April on the dry side to the tune of 0.81 in the deficit. We were a deficit, 0.81 inches. We'll make up for lost time, my friend. As I said and have said many times, I said, what if April showers bring May flowers? What do May showers bring? And everybody thought it was a riddle that I was going to spring the answer. And that's a question. Some people say, well, it brings summer eventually, right? Summer eventually comes after May. But what if we get more rain in May than we got in April? I think that's very likely the way things are trending, just so you know. And as far as the future rainfall, look how things change. If we get 1/3 of an inch, based on this model, 1/3 of an inch of rain by 5 o'clock today, okay, no big deal. But watch what happens once we move into tonight. There's 11, okay, 0.92. Hey, we've tripled it, right? We went from 1/3 to 0.92 in just a few short hours. But that's child's play once you get into early tomorrow morning. Because look at La Follette, look at Oneida, look at Jamestown, 2-3 inches. There could be locally higher amounts, and all of this is going to be coming in the next 24 to 36 hours. So a very rainy day. If we could describe today as the severe weather day, that's a good way. But think of tomorrow as the overnight tonight, the flooding rain day. Because we may not have as many severe storms, but we're going to have, oh my goodness, where did all this water come from? And that's the worst, right? It's all of us do not like having flooding rains coming into town, no doubt. It is 6:52. I've got a lot to cover. Let's go back. If you're just joining me, our current temperature is kind of soupy at 73. I believe the dew point's 68. It's pretty humid, and those dew point numbers will come down. But currently it's 65. In Middlesboro, our friends in Crossville, Cumberland County at 69. It is 70 in Jamestown, and 70 in Madisonville and Athens. These are our current readings here at the 6 o'clock hour. But take a look. You can notice the winds aren't moving much, but within an individual storm, they could be off the chart, and wind damage could be an outcome in some cases. The humidity is off the chart. Anytime you're in the 60s, you've got high dew points. It feels uncomfortable for many, and it usually translates to a bad hair day, especially when you've got swampy dew points around 70, and that's where it is right now in Athens, McMinn County, Madisonville, 70, and Tellico Plains, around 70 degrees. It's very, very soupy. So the question is, when will things improve here? Well, all you have to do is look at tracking the humidity. The stuffy air sticks around through 5 o'clock today, sticks around tonight, which will work against us in terms of these storms. But then as we head into tomorrow afternoon, the drive home, look at 5 o'clock. Some of you, maybe in Sneedville, Hancock County, will be celebrating by 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Say, hey, it feels better here because the humidity is falling down. And then by the time we hit 11:30 tomorrow night, it's really comfortable because the humidity is really beginning to move out of the picture. And once it's gone, it gets super dry. We go on the other end of the spectrum. What am I talking about? Look how dry it turns brown. Oh, I mean, we're talking dew points that could be in the 40s and 30s. I mean, it's just what? I mean, you're talking about 10, 20, 30. We're talking a big drop in humidity that's coming your way in time for Friday and into the weekend, Mother's Day. We have to focus at Mother's Day. Hopefully will be far greater and far better than what we are dealing with today and tonight and tomorrow. It's just the way it goes. By the way, it's 6:54. I got a lot to ground to cover. 74. Current reading in Nashville. 75 in Memphis. We're currently at 75 in Chattanooga, while it's 66 degrees in Asheville. Here's the blow up. Yeah, all these clouds, the blue ones, are cold cloud tops, and they're very cold and yellow. So you can see these clouds just kind of flare up. These are the waves that I'm talking about, kind of using the analogy of the waves at the beach. The waves at the ocean, they kind of crash on the shore, and they're going to be crashing in some cases across our region. By the way, sunrise sunset today is 6:36. That's already, it's been up for a few minutes. But the sun sets tonight at 8:29. That's when we'll lose our heat source, but some of those storms could still be quite vigorous. Here's the bus stop forecast. Getting you to the bus stop, obviously not a whole lot to worry about this morning. We'll keep an eye on what happens after, say, 4 p.m. and beyond, because it will come in stages, and it may be area specific heading into the night and into the overnight. But 78 by 2, I have modified temperatures into the 81 range for Knoxville, but you still got the potential to hit 84 for places like Tellico Plains today, Athens, 79 in Crossville. Got some other notes to you, share with you. We hit 82 yesterday. 62 was the low. We had a peak gust of 32. I was expecting 25 to 30 for a gust. Wind gusts tonight, overnight, going to be totally dependent on the storms. But again, the record high today, 93, set back in 1940, and we have been as cold as 34 degrees on the 8th of May back in 1989. It wasn't all that long ago for 89. Sarah Rose says, good morning. Melissa Mumpower says, stay safe, everyone. Wanda's watching the roads for flooding. I'm also on YouTube. Oh, I got some notes from YouTube. I love this. David Smith, happy Wednesday and a steamy 70 in Crossville. I'll tell you what, it is humid, no question. Humidity is the Maryland says, be safe, everyone. Have a plan. Absolutely, get a safe plan, a plan in place where you know where to go. An interior room in the house that has no windows would be a great alternative if you don't have a basement. Basement's the preferred spot, but I don't have a basement, you might say. That's okay. Secondary spot might be an interior room on the lower floor. Don't do it on the upstairs. Break downstairs. Needed 97 says, good morning, David. Glad to have you all here as we are talking about our highs today in the upper 70s, low 80s. Should not get much warmer than that. It is 6:56. Strong severe storms today and tonight. Locally heavy rain and storms tomorrow, and less humid air later Thursday and beyond into the weekend. Of course, it's Mother's Day weekend. We are currently at 70 degrees at the moment. We have a southwest wind at, say, 8. And I believe this is our 7 o'clock temperature that's trickling in because they take that measurement just a few minutes before the top of the hour. We have a 67-degree dew point. It's pretty sticky. Relative humidity is at 90%. Here's my valley planner. Keep in mind the normal high, record high, as mentioned, is 93. But we should be around 81. The average high is 77. Some of the storms I've mentioned could be strong to severe. We're going to get into the severe weather storm prediction center maps coming up here momentarily. I have an 80% chance of rain tonight, 80% chance tomorrow, and notice how it drops off quite a bit into the weekend, which is, of course, good news. There might be a hit or miss shower later Saturday night to the tune of 30%. Storm Prediction Center, you don't often see red across the country, but you certainly don't see it often in Tennessee. But we have that this go around. We're talking about Nashville. Widespread severe storms are a possibility today in Tennessee and Kentucky, specifically Clarksville, Nashville, Murfreesboro. You say, oh, now I caught your attention. Weather Service, Storm Prediction Center, and specifically, really concerned about the area in red for widespread severe storms today and tonight. So if you have travel plans here, if you're doing any traveling today across the state into Arkansas, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and so on, Kentucky, we have to be mindful that there could be some wind damage, trees coming down, power loss. Please make sure your phone's charged. You have maybe a phone charger that's in your vehicle that might get you through the day. But that's usually what a level 3 means for us. Now, tomorrow, there's that little orange patch in Dallas and Austin, but the energy's pushing southeast tomorrow. So they've got Atlanta, Charlotte, and Richmond under the crosshairs for scattered severe storms while we might get isolated. And the isolated would come early in the morning, and I think it pretty much moves out pretty quickly during the course of tomorrow. It's the flooding, I think, that's going to be the real issue heading into your Thursday. Friday, the opportunity for isolated severe storms in green. Dark green is Savannah. It's Tallahassee, and it's Mobile, Alabama. That's where things are for the severe outlook on Friday. But again, some thunderstorms pushing to the east. I have some spotty rain on Friday. I don't see much more than that. So again, watching the front, I like the storm energy map to be more indicative of where storms may be coming most active. But this is just going to show you a bunch of green blobs coming and going, much like the waves at the ocean. It's going to be triggered perhaps more rain as that front approaches. But once the front crosses by on Thursday afternoon and evening, and certainly on the Friday morning, we'll see the humidity drop in a big way and things will improve dramatically. It's now 6:59. I want to show you this other map. This next map, this is the macro view, the next map might be very telling. Let's take a look. Do you see how there's not a whole lot here in the morning? For those of you that are concerned about what you're doing between now and lunch, don't worry about it. A couple of showers, maybe a quick downpour in yellow. That's what's projected here on this model. But you can see when things get active. There's 2 o'clock. The red areas would suggest thunder around Middlesboro, around Claiborne County, Tazewell, and maybe near Oneida by 2 p.m. And a really very vigorous storm northwest of Jamestown there near Bowling Green. So some of the energy may be north by 4 o'clock, pushing well through southeast Kentucky. But then it's this. This is 11. There's 2 in the morning. You say, oh, my cat and dog are under the bed. They're under the desk. That would probably wake up a lot of folks. It's going to be a tough night for light sleepers if this purple area comes racing into Blount, Sevier County, Knox County before 2 o'clock in the morning. So 11 to 2, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. may be another wave that really gets your attention. I want you to be prepared because there's 245. This is the type. This is giving you a visual, right? Then you get all the rain reinforcements at 5 in the morning on Thursday. So a lot of rain coming in, just pouring in buckets. And then it really starts to slow down. As we all highlighted, humidity starts to fall later Thursday afternoon, Thursday night. That's, temperatures will be falling down into the, say Thursday, I'm at 82 now. But generally, we're looking at overnight lows in the 50s come Thursday night, Friday morning. It's going to be getting less humid in time for the weekend. But for today, it's now 7:01. Showers and storms. Some could be strong to severe. The main event will be later this afternoon, and again, in waves, in stages, tonight, overnight tonight. Winds generally 5 to 15, obviously higher with some storms. Today, a high of 78 for La Follette, 79 for Morristown, about 77 for Wartburg. If you're traveling today, we've already highlighted some hot spots. Widespread storm damage expected in the Nashville, Clarksville, and all the way up into western Kentucky today. So please be mindful. Those storms are going to mean business there as well. But tonight, strong to severe storms. It's humid. Some locally heavy rain can be anticipated, lows around 66. Tonight we're down to 65 for Kingston, 64 for Sevierville, as well as Pigeon Forge. And Newport, a low of 63 tonight. Crossville, 62 is my expectation. Looking ahead to the Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee, 82 on Thursday, 71 on Friday. I think you'll like the weekend outside of maybe a hit or miss shower, and it would be brief. Saturday evening, I think we dry out nicely for Mother's Day. Happy Mom's Day. It's going to be beautiful, just like Mom at 74. Back to 78 on Monday, and low 80s with showers and storms potentially next Tuesday. So hopefully that gives you all the answers in a nutshell. I tried to pack it in as best I could. Say hello to David Smith, Marilyn Bell on YouTube. If you've got a comment on Facebook, Crystal says, I warned my brother who's working in Clarksville. Very good. He needs to know. He's not often are you under the red risk category. Again, the Storm Prediction Center does not use those colors willy-nilly. They have a very deliberate reason, and when they use it, it ought to get your attention. Amy Miller says, how concerned should we be for tornadoes in the Campbell County area today and tonight? You'll have to check the beginning of this live stream. We talked about the probabilities, and if you are a probability or fan of probability, all of us know that if we take a quarter, if I say heads or tails, you might say, well, there's a 50% chance it's head, 50% chance it's tails. It's that probability type of thing. We've got a 5 to 10% chance for tornadoes during the course of today and tonight, so we'll keep a watchful eye on that. If you are interested, I would encourage you, in fact, I would urge you to download my free Captain Accurate Weather app just to get you through the night tonight, because you may be having a hard time sleeping and trying to figure out what's going on. What's going on? The National Weather Service alerts will come to my app, all of them, in fact. Plus, you'll get 3 extras, including the twisting storm approaching, dangerous storm approaching, which are precursors to the tornado warning and the severe thunderstorm warning. They don't always appear, but when they do, boy, are they handy. Very handy. You also get an alert called Storms in the Area, which means if you get one of those alerts, that means there's a very vigorous storm within 25 miles of where you are. And it's free. Did I mention it's free? Grab the Captain Accurate Weather app. I think you'll find it very helpful. By the way, if you want to join us on Premium, we've been talking about Memorial Day. Besides Mother's Day, we've been talking about Memorial Day. We're talking about early June. We always focus on things that go beyond the next 7 days. We'd love to have you sample us. Be the first to see every forecast, get more Facebook Lives, fewer ads on Captain Accurate Premium. So we'll be watching this very closely. And if a tornado forms, wouldn't you want to know about it? We'll be talking about that too over time. Anyway, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.